Okay, today we're going to talk about the latest requirement for the California real estate exam and what are the basically reasons for which they're going to refuse to issue a real estate license to you, and also the changes about the real estate license, the salesperson license. I think the exam is actually getting harder, but I'm going to get into it a little bit later. In the meantime, first thing first, we're going to shout out our partner, the California Real Estate License School.com. They have the best test prep material for the salesperson and the broker exam for a really reasonable fee. We're talking like $20-30, not more. Okay, so this is very reasonable, up to date. The company is based in California, in Los Angeles, and it's not one of these companies that you find on Amazon. Like if you go on Amazon and you look for California real estate exam material, you're gonna find tons of books that are basically based on the national real estate terms, but they just slap a label of California on it, and then sell it to people and say, hey, this is the California real estate exam prep, buy this. And guess what? A lot of people buy this and they realize that, oh, this is way far, this is just far from what you find on the exam. It has nothing to do. And the reason is that a lot of these publishers, I'm not going to name any because we don't want to get in trouble with any of them. We don't want beef or a problem with any of them. But basically, a lot of them, they do this. They just grab like national real estate test prep material. So basically, a lot of things from the East Coast and other states in general. And then they kind of like rewrite it and then add a few California terms in them and then publish them and sell them to students as California specific material. Every time you're working with a book or a website that pretends that they're providing to you a California test prep for the California real estate exam, make sure they're based in California and they work with California licensees, okay? Because the California exam gets updated all the time, so the test is getting trickier and harder. And licensees in California, they receive email like this. People that are licensees for many years, they get emails like this from the California Bureau of Real Estate, and now it's called California Department of Real Estate because they keep changing back and forth their name, but basically their responsibilities are the same. And the Office of Professional Examination Services, which basically bring licensees to their location, and they try to update and add more things to the exam in their workshops in Sacramento, and they end up giving them some money. They give them like $150 per day and give them like a continuing education credits and things like that. So the California real estate exam gets updated all the time. Okay, so if you buy a book that says it's for California exam but is from an out-of-state publisher written by a guy who is not licensed in California, who doesn't have a broker license, you best believe that you're gonna be way off with that material, and most likely you're gonna fail the exam. So make sure you prepare with a company that is based in California and they charge a reasonable fee. Here, our partner, the California Real Estate License School.com, they charge between $20-30. It's ridiculous how cheap this thing is, but it also is up to date. What I recommend is to use the flashcards that they provide. A lot of their flashcards, they're going to help you to kind of study. And I recommend, if you're preparing actively, I recommend to basically work with these flashcards for at least do 30 or 40 flashcards a day, and then also come and take some practice tests. So the tests are I think 100 question each, so just try to do at least one test a week and kind of gauge your score. If you're scoring above 80-85%, then move to the next test, okay? But I would say Even if you score below, at least take a different practice test every week, and then keep coming back and work on those questions that you missed, and those the incorrect answers and everything. Those are basically your weak points, so you want to like review them, write them down, make sure you basically work on that, and then take also, like as I said, 30 to 40 minimum flashcards a day, and 1 or 2 practice tests a week, and you should be good to go, maybe after a month or 2, depending on your level and how busy you are in your life. But this program is always up to date, and as I said, you want something that is updated, and you want something that is made by people who are licensed in California, and not some out-of-state publishers that are pretending to just putting a California label on their book or on their website. And a lot of the website that provide test prep for real estate, they have like multiple map of the United States, and then you just kind of click on the state that you're in, and basically they're just gonna give you the same questions. They just kind of like formulate them a little bit differently, and then maybe add a CA or California label on them, and people think that, oh, this is written by people that are licensed in California Department of Real Estate licensees, and they know what they're talking about. No, a lot of them are just based on national real estate test prep, and those are general terms. But as I showed you, the state of California, they don't work with old material, man. They just keep updating their tests, and they're making these tests harder. Here's the proof. Just Google CalDRE, go to this website, and even if you go to CalBRE, which is the old name of Bureau of Real Estate, actually it used to be called California Department of Real Estate, then it changed to Bureau of Real Estate, and now it's again California Department of Real Estate. But either way, if you go to this website, on this area somewhere you have a statistic. Here you go, licensees and statistics. So if you go in that section, you'll see, like, let's say the most current statistic that they have. Here you go. So let's say the salesperson exam, there were like 3,960 something people who took it this month, the current month, and then only 1,965 people passed it. So we're looking at almost 2,000 people who failed. Okay, almost 2,000 people who failed the exam versus like 2,000 people minus 3, so 997 people failed, and then 1,965 people passed. And if you go back and look at the same stats kind of last year, you'll see that more, actually this is almost the same thing. Almost 2,000 people have failed. But if you look overall, more people are failing. Like with this new version of the exam, and as they get it more up to date, you'll see that more and more people are failing this exam. And I don't know if they're getting it harder, or it's because they're preparing with because the internet is full of test prep materials that are not on the money. They're not California specific. So I'm gonna plug our partner again one more time, and then we'll go and check out the requirement. Partner is CaliforniaRealEstateLicenseSchool.com. They're based in Los Angeles, California, and they have great test preps. And 2 of the test preps that are the most popular here, the one for the salesperson for California and the broker exam. And as I said, they're very affordable. A lot of in-person test preps and crash courses for the exam, they cost somewhere, I've seen people paying $400, $500, $600 to basically go to these classes and just become familiar with the terms of real estate. You don't need to burn that much money, okay, for a test prep to get ready for the California real estate exam. You can spend $20, $30 with a website like this that is up to date, and they'll get you ready, and just take like 30 to 40 flashcards a day, study them. And you can do that on your phone, anywhere you are, at work. If you're taking some breaks, you can work on this, and then take some practice tests at least once a week. Now these practice tests, you need to dedicate at least the time to finish 100 questions to get your score at the end. So make sure at least once a week, one day you just take a day, and it's not going to take a day. I believe like maybe an hour to finish one of these practice tests, but just to kind of gauge your level, and you go from there. So CaliforniaRealEstateLicenseSchool.com. Make sure you check it out. Okay, so now the license requirement for the real estate license salesperson in California. Now you have to be 18 or older, of course. Now they put a residency here, but usually the residency is not an issue. You can live out of state and still qualify. It does say that residency in the state is not a requirement to become licensed, and California has no reciprocity program with any other state. So if you're licensed in another state, they're not going to issue you a license here in California. You're going to have to qualify, you're going to have to take the courses, and you're going to have to basically apply and take the exam. Now the thing is that as always, as a salesperson, you have to have your license under a broker. So here it says, if you're getting your salesperson, then if you want to do some business in California, you need to be actively licensed under a broker in California, a broker that is engaging in business in California. So it cannot be a broker that is out of. So, and then sorry about that. The next thing is that if you're taking the broker exam, of course, you need to have a business address here in California. So you can't just be a broker in California and your address and your office is out of state, because they need to basically serve you here. They need to come and check your records. I mean, there are just a lot of things that the Department of Real Estate has oversight over, and they need you to be locally here because they don't have jurisdiction if you're out of state. So they're not going to let you be a broker and issue you a broker license, a real estate broker license, if you're not based in California, you're not providing a business address in California. So keep that in mind. Now the next requirement is honesty, basically being truthful, not having too many convictions. Now the nature of the convictions are basically detailed here. So you got a lot of crimes that are related to financial crimes. Okay, so a lot of, if your criminal history had some tax related things in them, if they were like forgery, anything that is perjury, financial crimes, and also like sex related crimes. So if you're registering as a sex offender, if you are looks like this is what it's talking about, conviction or required registration pursuant to 290 of the penal code. So a lot of time, you will be denied for these convictions. Now if you were arrested but you were not convicted, that's a different story. Okay, so that most likely they will not refuse you, and if they do, you can appeal and you will win your appeal. So they cannot refuse you based on charges that did not lead to a conviction. So keep that in mind. Other than that, I think the rest is pretty self-explanatory. You can come and read all these different things, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of case-by-case basis. So you do need to contact them in person with your specific situation. So if you have a specific conviction or something in your criminal history, you may just contact them directly and ask them the question, maybe via email or a phone call. The course requirement, as always, real estate principles, real estate practice, and then one of the following courses. I recommend, if you're starting in real estate, something related to maybe contracts or legal aspect of real estate, I would say, because that's gonna come in handy even when you're gonna start to work in the field. So real estate appraisals, you can take that too. But yeah, I would say I would go with the legal aspect of real estate and business law. And if you're really like, you think that you're gonna extend your business to like mortgage loans and things like that, then you can also go with mortgage. But I think depends on your level of, like, if you're like really good with computers, I think this course is gonna be super easy. Like, this is gonna this is gonna be one of the easiest one if you're like good with basic computer usage and software and stuff like that. So but I would say, yeah, if out of all of this, what really is going to help you is the legal knowledge of real estate. So I would go with either this or that, because it's just practical knowledge. Okay, so that's basically it. As I said, don't prepare with a national real estate test prep for this. Don't become part of the failures. Okay, just prepare with a trusted, good test prep that is not like it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. These guys, California Real Estate License School.com, as I said, $20-$30, very cheap, affordable, and up to date, and California based. So you want the test prep to be up to date, you want the test prep provider to be in California, and you also want to avoid too expensive. Like, we do have some places in California that you can basically go in person and sit, and it's provided by this big name brokerage. Okay, so these brokerages that I would not name, but all of them, you can count them in one hand. Okay, and they provide some California crash courses, but you really don't need them. It's just going to be burning your money. You can prepare for very cheap on this website once you're signed up with them, and you can take and pass the test as long as you're focused on the right material. Now, once you have your license, once you are licensed, and you can come here and verify your license, and you'll see your name popping here, then you will need to learn how to develop business. Okay, because a lot of people in California or other states, when they're jumping to the real estate, they think that, okay, I'm gonna get my license and that's it, I'm gonna be successful. But there's way more to it than that. Okay, so what you're gonna learn before you get the license is a lot of general knowledge about how the real estate transaction works, how you have to disclose everything. Like, disclosure is always huge in real estate. Okay, so how there are some basically specific technical things about how a contract is established, or what is a party, what are the parties of a contract, what's going on, who is the beneficiary, who is a trustee, who is a trustor, who is, you learn these terms and you kind of get the picture of what's going on. But once you have your license, a lot of, and you're signed up with a broker, a lot of these things are automatically handled. Okay, so you have TCs, transaction coordinators, you have like escrow officers, you have like a lot of people that you're gonna be working with, that they will take care of all that. So you need to focus on generating leads, picking up the phone, door knocking, meeting people, giving your business cards away. You need to be focused on actually bringing business, and then a lot of these things will be automatically handled as you generate business. But it's good to know them, and that's why you have the continuing education requirement. So every time your license is about to get expired, you're gonna have to take those continuing education courses to be able to renew your license. So that kind of keeps you up to date and keeps you fresh, with all the latest requirement and what is required from you as a licensee. If you have any question, feel free to drop a comment here on this video. Again, it's not a difficult exam. You don't need to spend $400, $500, $600 for preparing for it. You can sign up on a website like this really cheap for $20-$30 and get a good preparation online and then prepare for it, and you can get it done. The test is getting updated. As I showed you, there are a lot of updates that goes to the real estate test in California. So you don't want to work with a company that has written a material that is from 1960s or even from 2000, and they pretend that, oh, it's a new thing, we updated it. But when you look at their past published material and what they're putting out, like let's say for 2019, is almost the same material. Well, guess what? If you prepare with that kind of books, you're gonna fail. You're gonna be part of the unfortunate failures. Like out of like 3,900 or almost 2,000 failed, and 1,900 and something have passed the exam. And then and you see, like, constantly this statistic kind of repeat itself. Okay, so you do have a lot of people that don't prepare right, and they prepare with the wrong material, and when they go and then when you have the right material, let's say you signed up to this website and you have access to the premium paid section of it, you still have to dedicate some time. I mean, doing like 30-40 flashcards every day, it's gonna take some time, so you're gonna squeeze in the time to get ready. Okay, so don't rush into taking this test. Give yourself enough time. Take the practice tests. Try to retake them again. Read your wrong answers. Learn from the correct answers, and just build up your skills, build up your knowledge. And the day of the test, let's say a month after that or 2 months after that, I think 2 months of preparation is enough. Like, if you work on this website for 2 months, you're gonna know everything that you need to know to pass the exam. But some people do it at 1 month, 2 months. Some people take more time as the way you feel comfortable. But I would say don't rush into it. Don't try to do it like within a week or two and try to rush into it, because as I said, they're updating these tests, they're making them a little bit trickier, a little bit harder, and you want to make sure that you have the highest score and put all the chances on your side to pass. Thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one.